Since the last time, I expanded my hunting grounds to West Carana, more precisely to hunt the many bandits that live in the zone. Take advantage, not only that they come blue to me, for the most part, but that they also drop socials for a quest in Quinus. The bandits definitely proved themselves to be a bump in the difficulty, but I was glad that I decided to do the new armor quest, if only for the weapon. Unfortunately, I didn't have the strength to pull one of their compasses whole, one of the many gatherings of 3 bandits that dot the landscape. If I did so, I would have to spend so many resources to fight 3 at once that I would have to spend so much time licking my own wounds that the camp would just respawn before I could keep it clear. So, I found this hill to the north, where 2 wandering bandits would spawn in a corner and I could intercept them while they aren't near any other enemy. The camp had some downtime, but I really didn't care. I kept here until I got level 15. And now I could say with 100% certainty that this ranger was my highest level character ever in Everquest. Having achieved level 15 and a whole new set of spells, I returned to Black Burrow to go after a very specific item, a spiked collar, an item that grants 3 AC and 3 strength. It drops from the elite no gods in the zone. Most of them are in groups and hit hard, but there was one that would spawn in a room with regular no's. The later ones already being a green conf to me. Fighting it would consume plenty of my health, so I would kill it, return to the wooden ramp that connected to the surface to meditate and wait for that one elite node to respawn. Eventually I got a studded leather collar, an neck armor that grants 3 AC, only 1 strength and 1 stamina. Since the 1 stamina converted to only 1 health, I still wanted the other color. But here's the cool part. I entered the zone with only 89 strength, that 1 extra point put my strength at 90, and that was a big deal because it increased my average damage by 1. In a game filled with small gains, I saw it as a big deal. Soon, I got the neck armor that I wanted. QQDI said it was a 10% chance, so I came here ready for another green item, but I got it pretty fast. And between you and me, it's only fair after all those rats that I killed last episode. I returned to the bandits after acquiring my new gear. Unfortunately, light blue became more common now, but I still did the same place I was doing last level. Got my first death here too, and unfortunately my recording was paused. It happened to one of the druid bandits. The druids and wizard bandits were the ones that was giving me the most trouble. I thought I could reliably interrupt their casting, just to end up missing both my attacks and my kicks. There wasn't much new at this level, so let me talk about this skill Bind Wound. Like the good boy that I am, I started to use the skill very early. The skill was sitting around level 30 at this level, but man, it was a counterintuitive skill to use. First, I can only use it to recover my health up to the 50% threshold, but I would rarely go below this number. When approaching this range, my survival instinct would kick in and I would want to rest to full health. Second, it is too useless at low skill level to entice me to use it. I believe it starts healing 3 health at skill level 1. That's too low. Even at skill 32, it's still just 10 damage heal. And third, it bandage costs 5 silver and its healing is so little and I have to carry a lot of them to be effective to train. Anyway, the run is over and I got my level 16 killing the bandits. I returned to Quinus to turn the bandit sashes. Unfortunately, at level 16, each sash is worth only 2% experience, but the money that I made it compensates. Taking advantage of the coin that I just made it, I engaged with Geocraft. After investing 52 platinum in it, I skilled all the way from skill 21 to 38 and ended up crafting for myself a pair of silver amber ring, bringing my total strength to 96. In the end, geocrafting wasn't too bad, and since I can get enchanted bars from the enchanter GM, it was well worth it to do. Next, I went to North Corona. At first I was unsure about West Corona, but it turned out to be a pretty okay zone. I can't say the same about North Corona. Everything is just roaming everywhere, and at this level things have started to hit me for more and more. And because things are pathing everywhere, nowhere really feels safe. And I say that as a ranger. Wolves and lions and bears are all friendly to me, but even near guards you aren't really safe because you have griffins pathing everywhere. There isn't a lot of footage of North Corona because I quickly moved to East Corona. The strength of the enemy mobs didn't change much here. They actually are, overall, stronger across the zone. But the layout of how these enemies are placed feels much better. I found for myself an encampment of gnolls in the southwest of the region, near the coast. The coastal part of the zone is relatively free of mobs, so I could put the gnolls here to kill them in peace and meditate after it. And I had to meditate a lot. I wasn't feeling like my defenses or offense are staying up with the same level as how hard the enemies are hitting me, now reaching about 30 points of damage. So very often I was in a bad shape after dealing with a single dark blue enemy. It is interesting to note that these gnolls were gathering around some sort of obelisk, and during the night they would spawn as undead gnolls. The storytelling here being that they are practicing some sort of dark magic. It was against these gnolls that I changed how I was approaching my fights. Before, I would only cast Flame Leak and use my mana only to speed up my recovery process. Now, I was starting to feel that I had to constantly cast Burst of Fire between attacks to keep up with the damage output of the enemies. But after a lot of med sessions, I finally reached level 17. Level 17 was a big deal. At this level I finally got dual wield, and as its skill increased, I finally felt like I was keeping up with the damage of that enemy's death. I took the opportunity that I was near Black Burrow to take a peek inside just to find a brewer, and killing several of them, I got myself 3 Black Burrow casks. These casks I turned for a question Surefall and got myself a cloak with 6 AC and 3 dex. I was watching classic Everquest self-found Shadow Knight for research purpose so I can get some ideas of upgrades. And I saw an episode where he was grinding for some bags with weight reduction. and I was, hey, I can do that myself. With my goal decided, I made my way to Kittycore Forest. The truth is that I didn't explore the forest at all. When it was night time, I could see all the red names on my tracker. Thankfully, if I stood on the edge, I wouldn't come close to any of those threats. Besides, my human blindness was really showing its power here. The orcs were on the same level of threat as the gnolls in West Caranas. Taking on one at a time wasn't a problem. I just had to stay away from their chief and avoid the one that is a shaman. This last one would really rack me up. Gotta respect those casters, man. I came out of the camp, level 18 and with 6 Sherlock packs. Then I got all the way back to my guild trainer just to get the skill parry. Excellent skill, but it's a passive. It makes me more survivable, so I have nothing to complain about. Of course, and I had to return one more time to Black Barrel, right? All roads lead to Black Barrel or something like that. I was looking for a magical weapon for my offhand, and in Black Barrel I could get the No Hide area. Apparently, only one Speedball commander can be up at one time in the zone, and most possible spawn points were too dangerous, aka had ads and I couldn't take all. Fortunately, one of the possible spawn points had all surrounding mobs being green to me, so I camped this single spot. It wasn't bad at all, it just had plenty of downtime. But the enemies were giving me 3% to 5% in experience. The only problem I had was if the Speedball commander was already up somewhere else, or if a high level player was killing them, because the null would probably spawn for them, which seemed to happen every once in a while. I take that whip is the desirable drop, and people were farming for alts or for selling it. I don't really know, I was here just because it was a magical item. But eventually I hit level 19 and the mobs were starting to become light blue for me. So I wasn't sure if it was worth keeping here. So it was time to pack our bags and thinking about sailing the seas.